How's it gangin', dudes and dudettes? My name is Sean and welcome back to my channel. And oh man, isn't victory sweet? The DNC just bent over for Yang. The DNC tells pollsters to do more polls. Okay, so at the end of this article, they have a response from spokesperson of the DNC. They pretty much passed the buck and blame it on the New York Times of all people. This is actually the article that we're on. But they do give a good synopsis, a work up to what's been going on, right? Okay, this is actually a pretty fair article from the New York Times, so I gotta give them props for that. DNC tells pollsters to do more polls. Let's get into the article. There hasn't been a single poll in weeks that could help the Democratic presidential candidates qualify for the next debate. The party blames the polling organizations. The morning after the Democrats' last debate in December, the Democratic National Committee announced the thresholds to qualify for the next one. Scheduled for January 14th in Des Moines, 5% support in 4 qualifying polls or 7% in 2 early polls. With those steep requirements in place, just 5 candidates have qualified so far. Those who haven't made the cut are getting angry about relying on the results for the public polling. When no polls that count have been released since the last debate on December 19th. If any of the lower tier candidates get a boost from the last debate, there have been no qualifying polls to reflect it. With just 1 week to go before the January 10th qualifying deadline, there has been no way for Andrew Yang or Tom Steyer, who are on the fringe of making the debate stage, or anyone else like Cory Booker, who needs a lot of help to secure a spot. The 5 candidates who have already qualified did so on the basis of polling from before December 19th. Candidates must also receive donations from at least 225,000 supporters, so that of which Yang has over 400,000. Just saying. Mr. Steyer announced Friday that he had reached that threshold. Mr. Yang and Cory Booker have already gotten there. Yang has gotten, doubled that actually. The current polling gap has prompted a series of grievances from the candidates at risk of not making the January debate. Mr. Yang wants the DNC to conduct its own polling given the dearth of the surveys from DNC-approved news organizations and other polling firms. There are 16 polling groups in the DNC's list, including the New York Times, but none released a poll over the holidays. Mr. Booker got 8 other candidates to sign a letter asking for the polling threshold to be abolished entirely. Mr. Booker is spending more than $300,000 on TV to boost his numbers in Iowa, but there hasn't been a qualifying Iowa poll since November 17th. That's crazy. November 17th? Wow, DNC. And watch, we're going to see the DNC is getting ready to pass the buck. They're not going to try to take any blame, even though Tom Perez outright rejected Yang's asking for them to actually do real polls that reflect where he's at now, not where he was at in November or early December, right? So Tom Perez, the DNC chairman, declined a request for an interview, but his spokeswoman, that word, I'm not even going to try. I'm sorry for whoever and whatever. And yeah, so anyway, this person said there had been 17 polls in the time period that qualified for the January debate. Yeah, that time period was all polls that were months old. That's support for him that was months old. Though there are 26 for the December debate and 32. That's right. So there's only 17 for this one. There's 26 and 32 for the other two. So he suggested it was the fault of the polling organizations, including the New York Times, that there weren't more. So they're already trying to pass the buck, as if they can't institute them or tell them if they can make sure that there's 26 and 32 from the other ones, they can do it with this one. The DNC will not sponsor our own debate qualifying polls of presidential candidates during a primary. So they won't sponsor their own. So they're saying the New York Times and the expansive list of 16 qualifying sponsors should conduct more independent polling. So they're passing the buck. They're trying to say that it's on the sponsors who should reach out and do more to provide to the DNC, which the way this is working is so convoluted. It's pretty much the media and the establishment just handpicking grooming certain candidates, man. It's oh man. So the DNC is saying that they'll do more polling. They're not afraid to do more polling. It's just the New York Times and other sponsors need to be on board as well, is what they're trying to say. So I don't know if it's because of the anonymous thing You know what I mean? I don't know if it's because of that or what, or if Yang is just such a juggernaut, such a freight train of a candidate who's had no sort of backing whatsoever in the political sphere and having constant attacks. So I don't know if that's part of it, but man, I don't. This is great. So we'll see if there's actually going to be a new string of pollings coming out. They go on to say, of course, there may not be a January 14th debate if the senators in the race are compelled to stay in Washington for an impeachment trial. So, if there's not a debate, they should have no problem releasing a few extra polls because they had plenty of time. And I'm sure more polls have been done, they just don't want to release them. So, a whole bunch of weird stuff, shady stuff going on with that, but it seems to be working in our favor. Keep up the pressure, keep up the emails. You guys are doing great. And, looks like the establishment's caving to Yang yet again. So let's get out there, guys. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep fighting, man, because we're winning. We're doing this thing. All right, so let's hop over here to the channel right quick. I just want to say that for anybody who, what does this mean for Yang? You know what I mean? For anybody who's wondering, this means that if it all plays out, it could just be lip service because anonymous and all that stuff, like I mentioned, with all the pressure mounting on them. But what does it mean for Yang? That means that there is a higher likelihood that he will make the debate. So there should be more polls released. There should be. This is not a absolute thing. I'm not seeing. There's like the only article I've really seen on it. There's not very many out there, and nobody else has really made a video on it that I've really seen so far yet. I don't know. So it's technically a developing story. I'll be interested to see what your guys' opinions are on it in the comment section down below. And recently I've made a couple changes to the of course you can always go to the merch store here. You can always go to Discord. It's right here. But we've got the new channel banner. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not. And what else? Also, yes, the Yang Gang. I put every major Yang tuber that I know about. If you guys know any more, make sure you head down to the comment section below and let me know. That way I can add them in here. It's on shuffle, so this will be changed every once in a while. Let's see if I can refresh. It should change it. Let's see, refresh. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, yeah, you guys get the idea. Also, another channel update. I was gonna say that this video recently passed 1 million views. That is crazy, my dude. That is crazy. I gotta do more corrected videos, right? Like, dang, son. That was over 8 months ago, though, too. I mean, God, this channel's old, isn't it? Anyways, that's all I really want to talk about. I just want to touch base because if Yang does make the debates, I think it's probably game over. Biden, Pete Booty, and Elizabeth Warren's going to be just out of there. It's pretty going to much be Yang and Bernie. And, poor Bernie, he's got the bend over for Hillary thing going on. So anybody who's on the outside looking in, that's not very good for him. Yang's got to kind of overcome this whole Medicare thing because there's a lot of one-issue voters out there. And, so there's so many people who are ideologically driven on Medicare. They have to have it exactly one perfect, Bernie Sanders way. And if it's not that way, then to hell with anything else. They don't care if that candidate can fix 90% of everything else. That's that one issue, you know what I mean? So that's something working against Yang, and Bernie's got his own faults. Plus, he's had that heart attack not that long ago. So I don't know, man. That's rough. That's rough. Anyways, I just want to jump back in here and say some update you guys on some stuff, and that's pretty much all I got. Appreciate the support on the channel. This video got demonetized, so if you didn't see that, maybe go back and smack a like on that and view it, because once videos are demonetized or limited ads while they're being reviewed, they tank, they suck, they don't grow at all. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. And yeah, all right, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys appreciate this little news update. Smack a like, do all that good stuff. The algorithm loves gravy, and I'll see you guys in the next one.